Welcome to the Justitia Awards Ceremony 2020. My name is Franz J. Heidinger. I am the Secretary General of the Justitia Awards. It is a pleasure to celebrate this extraordinary event with all you watching from around the globe. The long-anticipated moment has finally arrived when we will reveal the winners of the inaugural Justitia Awards. Despite the change in venue and mode, we are thrilled to share this exciting moment with you, our members, supporters, allies, and partners, and especially with you, the remarkable women in law who inspired this award. Let me introduce you to one of these inspirational female legal professionals who laid the foundation, the groundwork for these awards, the president of the Women in Law Association in Vienna, Austria, Dr. Alex Frank-Thomaser. Alex.
Thank you, Franz, and a very warm welcome to everyone. Welcome to the Justitia Awards 2020. Welcome to all extraordinary women in law. It is such an honor to celebrate the inaugural Justitia Awards with all of you who are watching from all over the world. Successful lawyers and judges, scholars and law students, in-house counsel and public servants and all other legal professionals. Your achievements have inspired us to create these awards. Let me also extend a very warm welcome to all our male allies. Your support is invaluable. For far too long, women have had to fight for equality and opportunities alone, especially in the legal professions. Together, we can improve our working environment much faster, not only for women, but for everyone in the legal professions. The Justitia Awards are organized by the Women in Law Initiative. Our organization strives to connect women and male allies in all fields of laws and offers them a platform to discuss current issues, learn from each other, and network across industry sectors and borders. We endeavor to open previously closed doors for women, improve the situation for women in the legal professions, and strengthen female leadership. Since our inauguration in 2018, we have been remarkably busy. In March 2019, we hosted our first international and remarkably successful conference in Vienna, which was attended by distinguished participants and speakers from all over the world. The second International Women in Law Conference will take place on September 9 to 11, 2021 in Vienna, in Austria. We will analyze and discuss the results of a scientific survey of legal professions we are currently conducting to learn more about the status quo and the current needs of women in the legal professions. This will form the basis of a detailed list of demands and recommendations. Moreover, in 2020, we introduced a new course to the University of Vienna School of Law curriculum, which analyzes the current situation of women in legal profession, raises awareness in students for challenges and obstacles women face in their legal careers, and discusses path in gender equality. Together with the renowned Austrian legal publisher Manz, we are also currently preparing an anthology covering these topics, which will be published early next year. And today, we are starting a new tradition of honoring our most inspiring colleagues, a new tradition of coming together and showcasing our achievements. We are proud of how far women have come in the last 100 years since we have been admitted to bars and benches all over the world. For one evening, we will celebrate ourselves. Together, we will recharge our strengths, be inspired, and honor the Women in Law 2020. Because of the current global situation, we had to adapt our plans. Today, we will announce our inaugural Justitia Awards laureates online. We will also take the opportunity to celebrate them again in person in a special ceremony during our second international conference in September 2021. So mark, please, your calendars and join us in Vienna in September 2021. Welcome to the Justitia Awards ceremony.
The Women in Law Initiative wishes to thank all our sponsors and partners for their tireless support of all our activities. As an NPO, the Women in Law Initiative relies on strong partnerships to maintain our work for women in the legal professions. We thank everyone who contributed to the Justitia Awards 2020 and look forward to continuing all these successful partnerships in the future. The Justitia Awards are a unique recognition of extraordinary talent, commitment, strength, and courage. They honor outstanding female laureates of all legal professions in one of three categories. First, international leaders and lifetime awards. Second, achievements in academia. And third, young achievers as well as game changers and pioneers in their fields of law. This year we'll also present a special award for a special organization. The Women in Law Initiative was inspired to initiate the Justitia Awards after its first international conference. We were humbled by the expertise and enthusiasm of the exceptional women in law from different countries and continents who attended the conference as participants or speakers. So we felt the need to showcase their achievements on a broader scale. Women still must overcome immense hurdles and break down strong barriers on their way to success in the legal professions. Even in 2020, they're still confronted with unconscious bias and outright discrimination. Almost always, women are the ones who must bear the burden of multiple responsibilities and try to juggle careers with family, social life, and self-care. In recognition of their achievements, the Justice Awards honor these women in law who have persevered despite or sometimes because of the challenges they had to face. They have become role models for younger generations, inspired girls to go into law, or mentored young colleagues in the legal professions. Our laureates have spent their academic careers researching gender equality, and they have shattered glass ceilings and opened up new career paths for their female colleagues. We received dozens of nominations from 4 continents. The Women in Law Initiative applauds every single nominee. You are outstanding women in law. Congratulations on your nomination. Unfortunately, we've not been able to give awards to each and every one of you, but we had to narrow down the selection to a short list for each category.
The Justitia Laureates Selection Committee reviewed these distinguished shortlists of nominees and selected the laureates of the Justitia Awards 2020. Let me introduce you to the members of the committee. They are, in alphabetical order, Sonia Bydlinski. Sonia is a distinguished legal professional who also holds a master's degree in business administration. Since 1999, she is the head of the unit for business and company law at the Austrian Ministry of Justice. Sonia helped shatter glass ceilings when she became one of the first women to hold such a position. Sonia was awarded an honorary professorship by the Economic University of Vienna and teaches law at Sigmund Freud University. Alex Frank Thomaser. Alex founded not only her own law firm, but also the Women in Law Initiative in Vienna and Central Europe. She is a successful business lawyer, published author, and co-founder of the law firm network Euriso, as well as a member of the managing board of the Viennese Bar and the Austrian delegation to CCBE, the Council of Bars and Law Societies of Europe, where she also chairs the CSR Committee. Alex holds the Grand Honor in Gold for services to the Republic of Austria. Julia Walski. Julia holds a doctorate in sociology and is a graduate of both the Diplomatic Academy of Vienna and the London School of Economics. She is the former spokeswoman for the Minister of Women's Affairs and former Chief of Staff in the Federal Ministry of Education and the Austrian Mission to the OECD in Paris. In her current position as head of Group Diversity Management for the Erste Group Bank AG, Julia creates the framework for successful, diverse teams and gender equality. Timothy Wilson. Timothy is the former director of an international charity. He served in the British Army for 27 years and was appointed an Officer of the Order of the British Empire, OBE, for leadership in Iraq. He is a member of Her Majesty's Bodyguard of the Honorable Corps of Gentlemen at Arms. As chief executive of MSI Global Alliance, a leading international association of independent legal and accounting firms, Timothy put a focus on the importance of diversity for the professions. Rupert Wolf. Rupert is not only a prolific lawyer, but also a certified court interpreter for the Italian language. He has more than 30 years of experience in the legal field and is practicing law in Austria and Italy. In 2001, he became president of the CCBE, the Council of Bars and Law Societies of Europe. He was elected president of the Austrian Bar in 2011, a prestigious position he still holds today. Rupert is the recipient of the Grand Honor in Gold for services to the Republic of Austria. Raffaella Zillner. Raffaella is a trained lawyer with a master's degree in information and media law. She currently serves as General Secretary at the Austrian Association for Betting and Gambling, and is thus one of the few women in such a prominent leadership position in her industry. Raffaella is a board member of the Juristenverband, one of the largest Austrian lawyers' associations, where she champions gender equality in the legal professions. We thank the members of the Selection Committee for their support. Thank you for taking the time to diligently review the many nominations we received. We appreciate that you shared your expertise with us. Your high standards guarantee that the worthiest winners were chosen.
The competition was in fact so fierce that choosing only one laureate for each category proved very difficult. Therefore, the selection committee decided to split the awards and choose one national domestic Austrian and one international laureate for each category. Alas, we will present 2 awards in each of these 3 categories. So without further ado, let us find out who these outstanding women in law are. Here's our first category, International Leaders Lifetime Award. Our first category celebrates the most talented and impactful women in the legal professions. With the International Leaders and Lifetime Awards, we recognize their achievements and contributions to society. The winner in Category 1 is the Outstanding Woman of the Year. She has demonstrated excellence and has proved herself to be the most innovative and groundbreaking lifetime achiever.
And here are the remarkable nominees in alphabetical order. Brigitte Bierlein. Brigitte Bierlein started her legal career as a judge at a district court in Vienna. Soon, her career became full of firsts. In 1990, she was the first female advocate general in the Procurator General's office at the Supreme Court. Several years later, she was the first woman to be sworn in as vice president of the Austrian Constitutional Court, whose first female president she became in 2017. However, her career had not reached its pinnacle yet. After only 2 years in office, Brigitte Bierlein left the court to become the first female federal chancellor of the Republic of Austria in 2019. Christina Blacklaws. Christina Blacklaws studied jurisprudence at Oxford and qualified as a solicitor in 1991. She has developed and managed law firms, including a virtual law firm. Today, she runs her own consultancy business providing strategic advice, particularly in the area of technological developments and diversity and inclusion to international and domestic law firms and legal businesses. As president of the Law Society of England and Wales, Christina Blacklaws led a program focused on women in leadership positions in the legal field. This project produced the largest ever global survey on the issue, 2 toolkits which supported over 250 roundtables in 19 jurisdictions and led to 3 insight reports and a Women in Law pledge, which was supported by the government and all legal representative bodies. Kathleen Heleni Matlo-Delepu. Kathleen is the co-founder and director of a trailblazing Black woman-owned law firm dedicated to outstanding legal practice in Johannesburg, South Africa. As a change maker in South Africa at the highest level, she has dedicated her life to the transformation of the legal profession, lobbying inclusivity, driving gender parity, and advocating sustainable skills development at an institutional, organizational, and legislative level through various formal platforms she has been directly and indirectly involved in. She was, among other appointments, one of the first women appointed to the Law Society of the Northern Provinces. Rihanna Khan Parker. Rihanna is a successful South African lawyer who founded her own law firm in 1992. She is committed to the advancement of women in law and leadership and fights to ensure access to justice for the most vulnerable, marginalized, and oppressed. She has held several leading positions in legal councils and organizations and is the former chairperson for the Black Lawyers Association, Western Cape. Rihanna is the founder and co-director of WOZA, Women in Law Awards, South Africa. Using the Zulu word woza, which means to come along, her organization is committed to the furtherance of gender equality, diversity, inclusion, and the uplifting of women in the legal profession. Rosario Silva de la Puerta. Rosario is the current Vice President of the Court of Justice of the European Union. This is the highest position ever held by a Spanish woman in the justice system of the European Union, and a milestone for all women in law. Already early in her ambitious career, Rosario served as Spain's first female state attorney in Malaga. Today, she is also a member of the Commission think tank on the future of the community judicial system and professor of community law at the Diplomatic Law School in Madrid.
Let me remind you that we will have 2 winners in each category. First, a national award for an Austrian female legal professional, and second, an international winner. And the first Justitia Award 2020 in the category International Leaders Lifetime Award National goes to the first female Austrian Chancellor, Brigitte Bierlein.
I'm very grateful that I was able to shatter some glass ceilings in the course of my career. I was the first female Advocate General of the Procurator's Office and the first female Vice President and President of the Constitutional Court of Austria. To serve as the first female Chancellor of the Republic of Austria has been the greatest honor of my life. To help steer my country in times of crisis may have been a challenge, but most importantly, it was a great privilege. I'm delighted and optimistic to see so many young women following their own professional paths with much motivation and success. My advice to all young women would be to take chances, use the opportunities you are offered, believe in yourself, strive for excellence in everything you do, and support each other along the way. As women in law, we can achieve everything we want.
And now to our first international award. The first Justitia Award 2020 in the category International Leaders Lifetime Award International goes to the former president of the Law Society of England and Wales and champion of female lawyers, Christina Blacklaws. Congratulations, Christina.
Hello everyone, my name's Christina Blacklaws and I'm so honoured and excited to be shortlisted for these prestigious awards. I'm the immediate past president of the Law Society of England and Wales, and in that capacity I had a wonderful opportunity to spearhead a programme which was focused on women in leadership in law. Many thousands of people across the globe helped us to identify what the problems were, but also, most importantly, the solutions. And I use everything that I've learnt in my roles today as an advisor for businesses in the UK, but also globally. And what I try to do with each business that I am helping is to make sure that gender equality and diversity and inclusion is absolutely at the heart of business decision making. Thank you very much.
On behalf of Women in Law, I congratulate the two well-deserved winners with all my heart. It is an honor and a privilege to award our first female Austrian Chancellor this inaugural Justitia Award for her accomplishments as a female legal professional. And it is a true pleasure to see Christina Blacklaw's accomplishments as a true champion and inspiration for women in law rewarded.
Our second category, academia, honors female researchers and scholars in the fields of law. The academic who will win the prize has conducted extensive research into questions of gender equality, female careers, and related questions in the legal professions. This research has had a significant impact or has delivered qualitatively and/or quantitatively measurably tangible results. The winner of the Justitia Award in Academia has influenced changes in attitudes, beliefs, and practices towards women in the legal professions.
The outstanding researchers and scholars who were nominated for the Justitia Awards in Academia in 2020 are, in alphabetical order, J. Jarpa Dawuni. J. Jarpa Dawuni is an academic and legal game changer who has made important strides as an academic and a women and girls' rights activist. She has an impressive professional trajectory that cuts across academia and women's mobilization, where she has combined her academic skills with development capabilities to launch an innovative entity called the Institute for African Women in Law, with a vision of building a network of women legal professionals dedicated to using the law as a tool for societal development and advancement. Ivana Krstić. Ivana is a professor of international human rights law and the director of the Human Rights Center at the Faculty of Law, University of Belgrade. She specializes primarily in anti-discrimination and gender equality law. In this capacity, she established a legal clinic on combating human trafficking and now coordinates legal clinic on non-discrimination, where gender equality is a significant part of the curriculum for students. She played a leading role in the development and implementation of the Erasmus Plus project, introducing the master's program Law and Gender at the University of Belgrade. Since 2015, Ivana is a member of the prestigious European Law Equality Network, EELN, as a Serbian expert for both streams, non-discrimination, and gender equality. Antonia Petricušić. Antonia is a true European who holds degrees from the universities of Zagreb, Sarajevo, Graz, Budapest, and Bologna. As an assistant professor at the law faculty, she teaches courses in sociology, rights of minorities, and human rights law to law students and students of social work at the University of Zagreb. Antonia's work as an academic and lecturer is an outstanding example of how legal education can serve as a tool for combating gender stereotypes and sexism in our society. She professes her feminist attitudes openly in the classroom and in different extracurricular activities she is performing with and to students. Ilse Reiter-Zartukal. Ilse's research as a legal historian focuses on the injustices of the Third Reich, as well as on the history of women in the legal professions. She is a member of the Commission for the History of Austrian Law at the Austrian Academy of Sciences and sits on the Board of Trustees of the Central Austrian Research Center for Post-War Justice at the Documentation Archive of Austrian Resistance. Most recently, she introduced a brand new class to the law curriculum at the University of Vienna, lecturing on the history of female legal professionals.
Again, the first award in this category goes to an Austrian nominee, the well-deserved winner of the Justitia Award for Academia National is Ilse Reiter-Zadlocal, who is changing the future by teaching the history of gender equality.
My name is Ilse Reiter-Zadlocal, and I'm a professor of legal and constitutional history at the University of Vienna. My research concerns mainly 19th and especially 20th century legal history. Most recently, I have tried to reconstruct the persecution and forced migration of Austrian lawyers and physicians during the Nazi regime. Currently, I'm working on two major publications on politically motivated deprivation of citizenship in the 20th century. In these projects, as in my other research, I have always paid special attention to gender aspects. With my work on administrative women-to-men gender reassignment in Nazi Austria, I have entered completely new research territory and caused quite a stir in the LGBTQA+ community. In my teaching, I have been committed to legal gender studies since the beginning of my career. 27 years ago, I held my first lecture on gender-specific legal history. Not much later, more and more colleagues joined in, and we formed the Women's Studies Research Group Juridicum. At that time, however, most women employed in the faculty were only assistants, while the professorships were almost exclusively occupied by men. Over time, however, this initial cooperation in teaching led to the highly successful Legal Gender Studies Wahlfachkorb, an optional subject specialization that students can choose in order to add a particular profile to their degree. The point of the program is to make students aware of the role that is played by law in the social construction of gender differences, and that the appearance of gender neutrality is spurious in history as well as in present times. It should therefore come as no surprise to anyone that I consider the Women in Law initiative to be a great project. It is thus a special honor for me to be among the nominees for the Women in Law Awards.
The Justitia Award for Academia International goes to J. Jarpa Davuni, who also received the President Obama White House Presidential Award for her service on the board of the African Research Academies for Women.
Greetings, my name is Professor Japa Dawuni. I'm an Associate Professor of Political Science at Howard University in Washington, D.C., and the founder and executive director of the Institute for African Women in Law, a nonprofit organization based in Washington, D.C. and working across the continent of Africa, with a vision of building a network of women legal professionals dedicated to advancing development. I would describe my professional trajectory as eclectic, beginning as a lawyer in Ghana, pursuing a master's degree in international development and a PhD in political science. But through all these three categories, one thing has remained constant: my interest and passion for women's rights and gender equality. Through my work as a professor, I have won awards for teaching, research, and service. Through my research, I've been able to co-edit the first ever two books on women judges in Africa, Gender and Judging and Gender in the Judiciary in Africa in 2016, and International Calls on the African Woman Judge in 2018. Through the work of the Institute, I've been able to advance research mentoring of the younger generation, advocacy for the appointment of women to international and domestic courts, and bringing awareness to other gender-related issues within the legal professions. Through this award, I have no doubt that I will continue to engage and expand my programming for advancing the rights of women in the legal professions. Thank you for nominating me for this category.
My warmest congratulations to both winners in the category Academia. Your work is an inspiration to law students, and your academic research provides such important insight into gender in the legal professions. We are so thankful for your contributions.
Our nominees in Category 3 cover a broad range of achievements. They are pioneers who have shattered the glass ceiling in their respective fields and paved the way for other women who followed them. They're game changers who promoted innovative approaches and created opportunities for women in the law. They're young legal professionals, the next generation, who champion new ways of working where business as usual has failed, and they succeed instead with such innovation out-of-the-box solutions.
And here are the remarkable nominees in alphabetical order. Christina Blacklaws. Christina, who was nominated for and won the Justitia Award for her lifetime achievements, is also nominated in this category for her pioneering work for women in law with the Law Society of England and Wales. Michaela Kliek. Driven by her passion for football, Michaela joined UEFA in February 2015, where she took over the position as players' status lawyer. By doing so, she fulfilled her life-lasting dream to work for a football organization. Even though it was not always easy in a world dominated by men, Michaela was determined and managed to rush up the career ladder by receiving 2 promotions within less than 5 years. She is now legal counsel for the statutory and regulatory unit in UEFA's headquarters, where she takes the lead on all regulatory-related matters. She is setting an extraordinary example for all women following her path. Michaela is contributing greatly to making the world of sports more accessible to women and more inclusive overall. Omnia Gadala. Omnia is a young Egyptian lawyer who founded the Her Honor Setting the Bar initiative in 2014 to fight against the flagrant discrimination of women. Her activism focuses in particular on the Egyptian ban that prohibits women from becoming judges. For years, Omnia has been using legal means to change this law, raise awareness, and counter gender stereotypes. In her ongoing struggle, she filed 2 cases directly challenging the law, one of which she lost, while the other one is still pending. She also sued the president, the Minister of Justice, and the head of the State Council. Neither the press nor universities report her endeavors. Therefore, Omnia seeks international support for her initiative to change this unlawful discrimination of Egyptian women. Petra Smutny. Petra started her legal career as a judge at a district court in Vienna and quickly rose through the ranks. After several years on the bench of the higher regional court in Vienna, she took the almost unheard-of step of leaving the court and becoming a lawyer. She has worked intensively for the promotion and advancement of gender equality and international human rights in Europe and the United States in national and international organizations. She was, for example, an Austrian delegate to the 57th UN Commission on the Status of Women. She also worked on the amendment of the Austrian Equal Treatment Act. Throughout her career, Petra has always been a great role model and a pioneer in her engagement in utilizing the law to achieve equal treatment and justice. Carmen Thornton. When Carmen became pregnant as an associate at a major law firm, she took an unusual step. She left and started her own boutique firm, specializing in divorce law. To her, this was the only logical solution to making time for her family, while uncompromisingly pursuing her career, using the internet and social media for marketing, acquisition, and PR. She probably is the first lawyer in Austria to do so. Now, 17,000 people, mostly young female law students, follow her daily stories about juggling court sessions, client meetings, and her family life. She also pens a regular column on family law and gender equality in Austria's #1 women's magazine and one of Austria's largest newspapers. Carmen found a way to be a pioneer for young lawyers by changing marketing, media, and PR strategies for the legal profession in Austria.
The Justitia Award for Young Achievers, Game Changers and Pioneers National goes to Carmen Thornton, who dared to play the man's game of law by her own rules.
Being a successful lawyer and a devoted family person is no contradiction, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I opened my law firm when I was 28. I had a 2-year-old and I was pregnant with my second child. Most people might tell you that this is not the best time to set up a business, but I never regretted it. To the contrary. Being a mother made me a better lawyer, and private practice allowed me to be a very involved mother and to be very present in the lives of my children. I am among the first lawyers in Austria to use social media as prime tool for marketing, PR and acquisition. Many of my followers are young female students, and I can show them we are truly limitless when it comes to choosing our own path, our own lifestyle, and we can change the working conditions and the working environment in a way that it suits us and our families. The law needs to reflect society. Half of our society are women. If we as the legal sector want to truly represent our society, we need more women in the law.
With such talent to choose from, the Justitia Awards Laureate Committee had an incredibly difficult choice. After much deliberation, the jury therefore took the unusual step to choose 2 international winners in this category who are both exemplary women in law. The first Justitia Award for Young Achievers, Game Changers and Pioneers International goes to Omnia Gadalla for courageously and tirelessly fighting for justice and gender equality.
My name is Omnia Gadalla, Egyptian Assistant Lecturer at the Faculty of Law and Sharia at Azhar University, Business Law Department. I started here honor setting the bar in 2014 to combat the discrimination against Egyptian women to be judges and sit on the bar. I got selected as a member of the Global Advisory Council in the Institute of African Women in Law. I also got selected as a future leader by the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs in 2019 as an acknowledgement of her honor setting the bar endeavors. Getting exposed to practical life happened while working in law firms. I believe it's very important to put theories into practice. It really enriched and widened the practical aspects that can be taken into consideration while discussing these legal issues with the students. I'm dreaming and aiming at being one of distinguished business law professors in Egypt and the region. I'm also dreaming of ending any forms of discrimination against women, including Egyptians indeed, and see her sit on the bar equally as her male counterparts.
The second Justitia Award for Young Achievers, Game Changers, Pioneers International goes to Michaela Klick, who is following her dreams, thriving in a male-dominated industry while inspiring the next generation.
My name is Michaela Klick and I'm working as legal counsel in the legal division of UEFA. Concerning my main daily tasks, our unit is in charge of all UEFA regulatory framework, including, for example, all competition regulations. Thereby, we are responsible for the revision processes and questions referring to these regulations coming from national associations, clubs, or UEFA staff. Apart from that, we are also strongly involved with all matters related to the highest decision-making bodies in UEFA, such as the UEFA Congress and the UEFA Executive Committee. Due to the current pandemic, one might think that us in UEFA had not much to do when there are no matches taking place, but unfortunately reality is very different. In the past months, I was working many hours on the UEFA Return to Play protocol, which forms a crucial part for the European football in the present times. As I'm coming from a very male-dominated workplace, I hope that my hard work and dedication can contribute to a better perception of women in the football industry. I'm very grateful to have been shortlisted for the Justitia Award along with such outstanding and deserving women.
What an inspiration! Congratulations to all winners. You're indeed changing the legal world for the better. Thank you for your tireless efforts and courage to break the mold of old stereotypes. Congratulations, Carmen, Omnia, and Michaela. The Women in Law Initiative believes strongly that we can achieve our goals of equality and diversity in the legal professions only if we, women in law and male allies, come together and support each other. Already 20 years ago, others had the same idea. In June 1998, more than 100 female lawyers from all over Europe came together at a colloquium organized by the British Council to discuss the hardships women face while working in the legal field. Instead of only sharing their thoughts and experiences, they decided to take action. This led to the establishment of the European Women Lawyers Association, EULA, in 2000. It has been representing the voices of women lawyers across Europe ever since. Among its founders were such renowned barristers and lawyers as Margaret McCabe, CEO and founder of DebateMate, Sherry Blair, Chancellor of the Asian University for Women, who set up the Sherry Blair Foundation for Women in 2008 to help women build small and growing businesses in Africa, South Asia and the Middle East, and Dame Janet Gamer, who has a partner in one of Britain's top-ranked law firms, was integral for her firm achieving star performer status on the Stonewall Workplace Equality Index. The European Women Lawyers Association is a federation of national women lawyers associations from countries within the European Union and EFTA, as well as individual female lawyers and academics. Together, they share their specific experience to monitor the compliance of laws and politics to fundamental rights and, in particular, gender equality. Women's interests in the institutions of the European Union in all women's issues in general and in the legal field in particular are represented and defended without prejudice. The European Women Lawyers Association is part of the European Law Institute, the European Movement International, and the Berkeley Center on Comparative Equality and Anti-Discrimination Law. Its network is constantly expanding. Member associations include the German, French, Irish, Spanish Lawyer Association, the Women in a Legal World Network, and as the Austrian representative, the Women in Law Initiative. The European Women Lawyers Association has been instrumental in furthering the interests of female lawyers within the European Union. It has kept a watchful eye on legal developments, raised red flags on discriminatory practices, and promoted gender equality and diversity in the legal professions. The European Women Lawyers Association is a beacon for its members, an amazing platform to exchange ideas, a pool of information on current legal developments in equality and human rights law, as well as professional standards, and an inspiration for all of us. Therefore, the special Justitia Award for Organizations 2020 goes to the European Women Lawyers Association, EULA. Congratulations and happy, very happy 20th birthday. To celebrate Sherry Blair, one of the founders of the European Women Lawyers Association, has sent us a short message.
Promoting women in the law, both nationally and internationally, is incredibly important to me. The Women in Law initiative creates an environment for women lawyers to inspire and encourage one another. It's organisations like this that help enable equality and positive changes for ourselves and those who aspire to be the lawyers of the future.
Once again, congratulations to all nominees and winners of the Justitia Awards 2020. Nominations for the Justitia Awards 2021 will open on April 1st, 2021. Who has inspired you the most in your legal career? Which role model deserves recognition for shattering glass ceilings or mentoring your younger colleagues? Which women in the next generation are forging new paths and are changing the game in the legal professions? We look forward to receiving your nominations and hope that you will make the selection committee's job even more difficult than it was this year. Thank you all for joining us in this virtual celebration of women in the law. We look forward to seeing you all in Vienna at our international conference next September, when we will honor this year's winners in person and present the Justitia Awards 2021 in another special ceremony.
Thank you so much, Franz, for serving as Secretary General of our initiative and for guiding us through this impressive ceremony tonight. As President of the Women in Law Initiative, it is my special pleasure to invite you all to our international conference, which will take place from September 9 to 11, 2021 in Vienna, Austria. Together with leading experts in the legal professions and academia, we will discuss a wide range of important topics, from bias to diversity and from the impact of the current global pandemic to the power of role models. Together, we will formulate a catalogue of demands and standards for the improvement of the situation of women in the legal professions. Together, we will learn from each other, make new connections, and build our networks on a global scale. Once again, congratulations to everyone. And thank you so much for celebrating these amazing women in law. We look forward to welcoming you again next year.
Manz, the leading legal publisher in Austria, is proud to announce the publication of the first anthology of Women in Law into the Second Century. The book will be available from March 2021.